there, fellow viewer, my name is Gabriel, and today I have got some books to show. Quickly before I start, this was supposed to be a Christmas book haul. Being an international book buyer sucks. I have to wait at least 2 weeks for any shipment to arrive, so I quickly gave up on that idea and tried to do a January book haul. However, some books hadn't arrived and I had ordered some other books, so here I am doing a kind of collective January-February book haul, quoting the great and wise Jesse the Reader. You probably don't care. You just want to see the books. The first 3 books that I got myself were books that I was just dying to acquire. We're talking as soon as I got my Christmas money, I ordered these 3 books. I needed them in my possession. The first 2 being Scarlet and Cress by Marissa Meyer. I read Cinder back in September and it was such a pleasant surprise. Unfortunately, I did have to wait until January to continue with the series, but boy, was the wait worth it. I absolutely loved these 2 books. I absolutely loved the series. It's quickly become hands down one of my favorite series of all time. Fairest was just absolutely mind-blowing. I loved everything about these books and about this series. I am honestly so in love. Check out my spoilery videos for Scarlet and Cress down below in case you're interested in knowing my deeper thoughts. Fair warning, they are very long videos. And the other book that I was just dying to get was This Shattered World by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. In case you're out of the loop here, These Broken Stars is one of my favorite novels ever. Obviously, as soon as I got my Christmas money, I went ahead and pre-ordered This Shattered World. Unfortunately, it only arrived about a week into January. The wait was painful, but this book was phenomenal. To be honest, I was a little skeptical if it was going to live up to These Broken Stars, and I'm so glad to say that it did. I absolutely loved This Shattered World. This is kind of a companion novel to the first one. You have 2 different main characters. It would take a long time to kind of describe what happens in the first and in the second, so I'll put my book chat for these books and the Goodreads link down below because you should really check these books out. I'm also assuming you know what the Lunar Chronicles are about. The 4th book that arrived in January was Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. This was my book outlet box day sale thingy that I got for myself, and I absolutely loved Shadow and Bone. I was not expecting to like it nearly as much as I actually did. I was completely wrapped around this world. I absolutely loved everything about it. The characters were equally enticing. As a whole, this novel was so good, and I have already ordered Siege and Storm. I'm really anxious to continue with this series. Again, you probably know what this book is about, and it would take a long time for me to describe everything that it involves, so Goodreads, book chat, link down below. The next 3 books that came were the remainder of my Christmas money. The first one was Snow Like Ashes by Sarah Rash, and this book was an instant favorite. I picked this up on a complete whim because I was really feeling the fantasy thing, and a lot of people said that this was an amazing fantasy book, and I just take the time to agree with them. Snow Like Ashes has everything. A unique, original world, really good characters, and an actually interesting, emotionally attaching love triangle. Beautiful writing style. This author knows how to effing write. We have our fair amount of action. The protagonist in this book was someone that I absolutely fell in love with. I thought our main character was headstrong and brave, courageous, and really willing to sacrifice herself for the people around her. All in all, Snow Like Ashes was a very good novel. I cannot wait for the sequel, Ice Like Fire, which comes out in like October. I don't want to think about that. Again, Snow Like Ashes summary is a quite extensive one, and all the links will be down below. I honestly really recommend you check this book out because it is very good. I was intrigued by the synopsis alone. I really recommend this. The second book in this shipment was The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. This was another book that I really enjoyed, although in my opinion it kind of had a slow beginning. From a certain point on, things explode. You're just completely gripped into this world and the story and this plot. Let's just say that there is a huge plot twist that you're not expecting, and everything just becomes what the F. I don't really have much more to say about this except that I really enjoyed it. I also recommend it, although again, it might take some time for you to actually become invested in the plot. The Kiss of Deception follows Arabella, or Leah as she likes to be called. Leah is supposed to have been born with this gift of sight to help her kingdom see her enemies, and when her parents, the king and queen of her kingdom, discover that she does not have this gift, they immediately pair her off to some prince in another kingdom, and she's just like, nope, I've had enough. I'm gonna go. And she flees on her wedding day, settles in a nearby village. Soon after, two very handsome strangers come into her life. Little does she know that one is an assassin sent from yet another kingdom to kill her, and the other one is the prince she was supposed to have married. I'm not sure about you, but when I finished reading the synopsis, I went, I need this book. Do yourself a favor, join the bandwagon, and pick this up. The third and final book in this shipment was 1,000 Pieces of You by Claudia Gray. Another book that I thoroughly enjoyed. I thought it was a very great novel. It wasn't anything completely, oh my god, swoon-worthy, but I really enjoyed it nonetheless. 1,000 Pieces of You follows Marguerite, and her parents are some of the most revolutionary scientists of her time. They discover a way to travel between dimensions when her dad is murdered, and her alleged murderer flees into one of these dimensions with the invention. Marguerite just takes one of the prototypes and goes after him to try and get revenge for her dad. I thought this book had phenomenal world building because as we see the different dimensions, we picture exactly how and what they are. The writing style was also really quirky. I really like this kind of adolescent way they have of talking to each other. All in all, a very enjoyable read. Then came Death by Feels, or Fairest by Marissa Meyer. Again, if you're out of the loop, this was one of my most anticipated book releases of all time. A young adult novel that is a background story on the evil queen of futuristic fairy tale retellings. How can that not grip you? I loved it and hated it at the same time, and I'm not sure how exactly this is possible. I just know that this completely tore my heart out, completely flooded my being with feelings, left me hating Lavana, and still, this was one of the most phenomenal books my eyes have ever read. It's only 212 pages, and these 212 pages, it's like a psychological thriller in which you're seeing the slow descent of a psychopath. I don't have much more to say. Read the Lunar Chronicles, read this book. Oh my god, it's really good. I also received The Inquisitor's Mark by Diane Case Lerney. Let's hope I'm pronouncing that right. This is the second book in the 8th Day series, and I won this in a giveaway hosted by Ekos from MG Lit Cheerleader. I will definitely be linking her channel down below. The series follows a certain type of people called the Transitioners that can actually go and travel into an 8th day in the week. I find this really original. This is a middle grade series. I'm kind of expecting it not to be very good. I'm hoping to be surprised, however. I have to buy the first book before I can actually read this one, and I'm actually really looking forward to this. And the final book I have to show you is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. This was another book I had really been anticipating this year. Just like everyone, it's been really hyped about lately. I also really enjoyed this book. I thought it was so original. The writing style also really stood out for me. The characters were people that you invested in, and although the love triangle felt a little pushed, I honestly believe the plot and the world really made up for this. Red Queen takes place in a dystopian society where you're either a silver blood or a red blood. Red blood, as it suggests, are the regular people, you and me. The silver bloods, however, have special abilities. Our protagonist, Mare Barrow, is a red blood, but discovers she too possesses abilities. I thought this book really incorporated the threat to society element really well. It kind of reminded me of the Hunger Games in that aspect. It's really good, and I really recommend it. So those were all the books that I have acquired through the months of January and February. If you read any of these books, definitely leave your opinions and thoughts on them down below if you enjoyed them, if you didn't. If you would like to see more of me, it would mean a lot if you subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for my next videos, and remember to keep your day a bookish one. Goodbye!